Welcome to all the folks who decided to join us here on this wonderful day. I'm Lewis.
And it's your boy, Kevin.
Why are you in a different location, Kevin?
Oh, this? Temporary setup, don't worry about it.
You're at your parents' place, aren't you?
No. What are you talking about?
Okay, whatever you say. And welcome to
Good Critic, Bad Critic. Well, Lewis, ready for the movie I picked for us?
Ready as I'll ever be.
Great! Today we're reviewing Child's Play.
Wait, what?
This movie was directed by Tom Holland. No, not that one. That one. It was released in 1988 during the slasher horror craze of the 80s. It was a good enough success to become a cult classic, spawn a franchise, and get a reboot in 2019.
Oh, consider me intrigued. Let's give this film a watch and see if it still holds up.
We start the film with a chase between Charles Lee Ray, a fugitive and serial killer who looks like a weird love child between Hugo Weaving and Tommy Wiseau. Ray breaks into a toy shop, gets shot by Mike, and before he can die, he chants Minecraft enchantment table and lightning is summoned, which explodes the story in a comedic fashion.
The next morning, we see a kid named Andy Barkley preparing breakfast for his mother, Karen.
All right, good guys.
God. Oh, no, that's not right.
Just for you.
Oh, does that? No.
Hi, good guys. Boy, have I your best friend. Perfect for birthday. And remember, you can...
Oh. Despite his less than clean method, this is a sweet scene that establishes their mother and son relationship. Andy opens up his birthday present, but he's disappointed to not have gotten a good guy doll he saw on TV.
What an ungrateful and entitled brat.
Karen manages to purchase a doll from a homeless man thanks to her best friend Maggie. However, she has to work late, so Maggie babysits Andy.
Karen brings the doll to Andy, and let me tell you, even if that doll wasn't possessed, it's still creepy as f***. After Maggie sends Andy to bed, we get some very weird and jarring POV shots that imply that Andy is walking around the room. But we all know that it's clearly Chucky come to life.
How did that happen?
You call that scary? Maggie's then hit in the face with a toy hammer. Yes, a toy hammer falls out of the window and dies.
Karen returned to notice police investigating her apartment. She confronts Detective Norris, and he tells her that Maggie was murdered. He suspects that Andy could be responsible, but Karen completely denies it, telling him to leave. Not before Andy tells them that Chucky was the culprit.
And of course, they don't believe him.
The next day, Andy is manipulated by Chucky to leave school and head to the home of his old accomplice, Eddie Caputo, who abandoned Charles in the beginning of the film. Chucky sneaks into the house while Andy isn't looking and causes an explosion that kills Eddie.
Jesus, was there dynamite in that house?
What is this film's obsession with explosions? Karen is called to the police station where Andy still tries to convince the cops that Chucky has been talking to him, but they still don't believe him.
God, are we really gonna do this again? God, I hate this cliche.
To be fair, do you see killer dogs walking around your neighborhood?
Perhaps.
After Andy gets taken by the cops, Karen heads home where she discovers that the batteries weren't placed on Chucky. This immediately raises the tension for Chucky's Big Reveal. As she checks the battery compartment...
Hi, I'm Chuckie.
Oh, and that is why that scene works so perfectly. The writing, the editing, and the truly creepy design of the doll really sells the tension in this scene.
Chucky attacks Karen before running out of the apartment. She goes after him, but escapes. She goes to the police station and explains to Mike that the doll is in fact alive. But once more, he doesn't believe it. So Karen takes matters into her own hands by going after the guy who sold her the doll. Right now, at night. That is such a stupid idea. Even Mike tells her not to do it because it's dangerous.
Well, she is trying to prove her son's innocence, so what other options does she have?
I can think of a few ways, but that right there is pure stupidity. Karen finds the guy, and surprise, surprise, everything goes wrong, and Mike has to save her. He forces him to reveal that he got the doll in the demolished store where Mike killed Charles. Once more, Mike still doesn't f***ing believe it. He drops off Karen, and he's attacked by Chucky.
I gotta say, this is a very tense scene.
It looks ridiculous and very comedic.
Yeah, but just imagine being stabbed while trying to drive a car.
Shut up, Lewis. No one cares. Besides, how can Chucky do normal stuff in this movie? He can walk around, open doors, and even wield weapons. He's a doll. He's smaller than a 6-year-old, and he can do all of that with no real struggle. They crash. Both try and fail to kill each other. Mike manages to shoot Chucky, which apparently makes him feel pain, even though he's stuffing and plastic. Karen arrives at Child's old place, which she got the address from Mike, and it's revealed that he was, or is, a Buddhist. Mike arrives, now finally believing all of this, and tells her that they need to meet up with Child's voodoo priest before he does. Chucky arrives before they do, because he can of course, and demands an explanation on why he can feel pain. Basically, the more he stays in the doll, the more human he becomes. Okay, first off, how does that even work? Call me ignorant, but I don't think any of these voodoo allows someone to transfer their soul into a non-living object.
You just do a quick Google search to find out.
No, I shouldn't have to do that. This movie fails to explain how the voodoo works in this universe. Additionally, how does a human soul function in a doll in the early stages? There's no brain, there's no nervous system, there's no lungs, and so on.
They do say that Chucky developed a heart at this stage.
Yeah, but you need more than a heart to make a human body functional. It's basic biology.
Hear me out. My theory is that during the beginning of the film, when Chucky was pretending to be a doll, he was only able to talk to other people, like he does with Andy. He was able to move around, but his organs haven't fully developed. That happened in the scene when Karen threatened to burn him into the fire, because that's the first time he shows any kind of expression. Afterwards, he's a lot more talkative and shows more of his personality.
Fuck you!
Love you too.
Chucky spawns a voodoo doll of the priest out of literal nowhere and uses it to torture the information out of him.
How do you want it? Broken leg?
God, Kevin, could you please skip it?
Alright, you big baby. The priest tells Chucky that in order to escape the doll, he must transfer his soul to the body of Andy. Chucky then proceeds to kill the priest afterwards. Karen and Mike arrive shortly after. They find John on the floor and he tells him to destroy his heart. And the plot finally allows him to die.
While at the station, Andy notices that Chucky is approaching him. They get into a chase which ends with Andy escaping.
Sadly, the child actor fails to convey legit fear. Combine that with how the doll attacks him makes it unintentionally funny. Karen and Mike arrive late once more and explain that the doll is indeed alive. And guess what? They still don't believe it, even though there is a couple of witnesses, including the detective himself.
Andy arrives home with Chucky not far behind.
Ugly doll.
Fuck you.
Oh, Brad Dorff, you are a national treasure. Chucky stalks Andy around, and I just want to say, I am very impressed with the animatronic they used. It has such a good range of movement, and the type of expressions it makes give a lot of life to the character. Chucky knocks Andy out and begins the ritual. Karen and Mike enter just in time to interrupt him, but Chucky slashes Mike in the leg. He gives Karen a gun and goes after him. Chucky ambushes Mike, trying to bash his head in before Karen manages to shoot him.
Which not only looks silly, but Karen does not aim for the heart!
Chucky chases after both Karen and Andy until she manages to trap him in a fireplace where Andy burns him, but not before saying a pretty awesome comeback.
This is the end, friend.
Chucky is burned alive and dies on the spot. Karen checks on Detective Mike, and Andy goes to get the first aid kit.
Hello.
Wait. How is he alive? If he's becoming more human as time passes and the movie clearly states that his heart is human, burning alive would definitely kill him. Sure, you could say that he's still more plastic than flesh, but we see him talking with no real drawback. He attacks Andy and Karen, whatever, but then Karen starts shooting Chucky everywhere but the heart. Fine, whatever. She empties the whole mag and Chucky is killed. Mike's partner arrives. Mike explains what happened and guess what? He does not believe him again, even though he's injured and there's a burned corpse in the hallway. That's it. I'm done. I'm leaving. That's it.
Well, okay then, guess I have to finish the review. Mike's partner picks up Chucky's head and uses it to prove that he wasn't alive. This is quickly disproven when Chucky's hand comes out of an air vent and starts choking him.
Oh wow! What a shocker! He's not actually dead!
The heart! Shoot him in the heart!
Oh, so now you decide to do that. Oh, it only took you like, what? 10 minutes of the whole movie? So Mike shoots Chucky in the heart, finally killing him. And he looks at the doll and realizes that all of this could have been avoided if he wasn't such an entitled brat. And the movie ends. And that was Child's Play. And for a horror movie of the 80s, it feels cheesy and unintentionally comedic nowadays. The story and pacing is okay. Not great, not terrible. The characters are okay, but they make some very dumb decisions. Additionally, the acting in some scenes are very rough. The cinematography gets weird with its POV shots and the camera movements. And finally, the writing is cheesy with its dialogue and nonsensical with explaining how the voodoo works. It was fun. Until the third act, of course. 6 out of 10.
I must say, this was a better time than I expected. The story had strong pacing that didn't go too fast or too slow. The characters are very likable, especially when it comes to Karen's determination to saving her son. Chucky is a very entertaining yet still creepy villain who always steals the show. The editing is fantastic and the animatronic is still impressive to this day. This movie is an instant classic for me. I give it an 8 out of 10. So that will conclude our review of Child's Play. If you share any different opinions from ours, please leave them in the comments below. If you liked the video, maybe give us a thumbs up.
And hey, if you guys really didn't like it, there's always the thumbs down option.
If you guys want to be notified of future videos, please click the subscribe button and press the bell icon. Aside from that, I just hope you all have a wonderful
or terrible
rest of your day. So Kevin, what were you saying about a killer doll walking around your neighborhood?
Look, don't worry about it.
Hey Kevin, who's that by the door?
Listen, I have to deal with something right now. End the video right now.